Hi, this is Monkey Magic.
And I'm Dick Ghostmoon.
And this is Monkey Magic.
And I'm Dick Ghostmoon.
And Monkey Magic again. So, Dick, here we are again.
So it's Black History Month.
Right, so what's all that about then?
Well, it's an American thing. It's not something that we have in England.
It's a bit like Positive Action.
What's positive action? I suppose I can figure out what positive action is by the words positive action, but...
I suppose it's where people are made to think about black people in general.
Well, I like the idea of a sort of Black History Month. I think we should have it in other countries as well, because it gives us the opportunity to think about who we admire the most, possibly.
I think if we didn't have Black History Month, or if they didn't even bring it up or raise it up as an issue, I don't think people would actually consider thinking about it in terms of that sense. So it brings them to the forefront. So I think it can't be a bad thing, can it?
It can't be a bad thing. It's got to be a good thing. I mean, I think the number one person, black person, that I find who's given me the most amount of inspiration has been a guy called Johnny Smith. Now, this is a guy who in 1968, he won the 100 metres, I think it was, and he stood on the top of the podium with a black glove on, with his arm in the air, and that just symbolised black power. And it got to be an iconic image, and whole generations of people have seen this image.
Fair point.
So, I mean, who's your favourite person in history through a black person in history?
Well, I've got two people that I really respect at two different ends. Now, I'd like to cite Gandhi, but simply, I suppose Gandhi can't be cited because it's an American thing, isn't it? We're talking about black people in general. But the alternative to Gandhi in that perspective would be Martin Luther King. Now, the reason, you know, you've got to have a reason why you like someone, you know, I personally. And the reason I like Martin Luther King is, just like Gandhi, they wanted to change the world to be a better place for a certain reasoning, or whatever ideology they had, but they did not take any action. They were beaten up, they stood in marches, they said they will not lay a fist. Or something to that effect. And they took it on the chin. And despite being wounded, despite being beaten up, they did not care. They did a peaceful... they changed the world peacefully. Now that to me is amazing. It's just completely amazing to do that and have that belief in human nature, irrespective of what's being done to them at the time. And obviously, you know, they've changed the world for the better, and they've not used their fists or hands. No. But in the alternative spectrum, you've got to think about someone like Malcolm X, who I have great admiration for. Now he's someone who, alternatively, and to be honest, I reckon I've got more admiration for him than anyone else. Now he's someone who's taught me not to accept anything, any crap from anyone, simply because his attitude was, it's wrong, don't take it. Don't give a shit about anyone else. If it's wrong, fight it. Now, I think that's the right attitude to have, because no one out there should be able to tell you that they're better than you for whatever reason.
You know what I find fascinating, right throughout history? I think Condoleezza Rice, she was brought up in Alabama, America, segregated Alabama. She's talked about it herself on TV, and she's risen from that to being the Secretary of State for America. And in my eyes, I think that Condoleezza Rice is the President of the United States. I know that George Bush is the actual President.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I know what you're saying, right, but let's be honest, right?
I mean, when Condoleezza Rice talks, I listen.
I think she's got no power. She doesn't know what's going on. She's been all around the country.
Oh, come on. She's an educated woman. She's great
in
at
terms
her job.
of her
She's
job,
articulate. She goes in front of the media.
Then why is the rest of the world not listening to what she has to offer?
Well, they don't listen to George Bush, but
she represents George Bush.
Yeah, because she's the words behind a sort of inarticulate George Bush.
Do you know she's got 2 degrees or something like that?
Yeah, she reads a book a night or whatever it is that she reads.
I don't know, I think it's madness. Anyone who reads a book a night is desperately, you know, needs help really. I mean, no offence, but I'm sorry, you know, there must be more to life than just reading a book every night.
it's true. But if you're the Secretary of State for America, then reading a book a night is not necessarily a bad thing. Well, I like Condoleezza Rice, and I
don't think she's sexy enough.
Well, I think she's quite good. All that power and stuff.
Do you really think so?
I would.
Nah, Tyra Banks for me, thank you. Don't tell my wife. Who else? Who else have you got in mind?
So we've got Johnny Smith, we've got Condoleezza Rice, we've got Malcolm X, and we've got Martin Luther King. And,
there was an actual theory prior to that boxing was very pugilistic and black people could not...
What?
Pugilistic, right?
Pugilistic.
You know, it's a posh word. And it was a posh sport at one point, believe it or not, right? They actually thought black people were not intelligent enough ever to win the championship.
Well,
because it was a pugilistic sport. So it just goes to prove how ridiculous people can be just because of the colour of their skin, really.
A lot of things came out of the 1960s. You had Muhammad Ali, that we've not even mentioned, which was a massive sort of charismatic, iconic black figure.
Oi, Mucky Magic, you look a bit like Muhammad Ali. That's Black History Month.